In this video we will be discussing how to simplify radicals with quotients. And a radical with a quotient is really a radical that surrounds a fraction, or a fraction within a radical. So for example, let's start with the square root of 125 over 20. So my fraction is 125 over 20, but that's all within a square root, so that makes it a radical with a quotient. One method to do this is to, just as we simplified radicals, split this up and say this is the square root of 125 over the square root of 20. And we can take both of these pieces, so the square root of 125 and the square root of 20, and use our tree method to break these up. And so we know 125 is 5 times 25. And 25 is a perfect square, which is 5 times 5. And so here are our final pieces. For the square root of 125, I've got a pair of 5s, so I can pull 5 out, and I'm left with 5 on the inside. For square root of 20, 20 breaks up into 2 times 10, and 10 breaks up into 2 times 5. So I've got my final pieces here, 2 times 2 times 5. I have a pair of 2's, so I can pull a 2 out, and I'm left with a square root of 5. Well here, square root of 5 over square root of 5, those cancel, and I'm left with 5 halves. Another method to do this exact problem, which might be a little simpler, is 125 over 20. We first want to simplify the fraction. 125 over 20 to 25 over 4. So if we follow the steps that we know to simplify a fraction, we reach 25 over 4. From here, then we can split up the radical, so the numerator and the denominator are both their own square roots. We know the square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of 4 is 2. And we notice that we've reached the same answer. So, not needing to even do the tree method, I feel like this one is a shorter and more, a quicker method to use. So let's use this second method again to find the simplified radical with the quotient 40 over 72. 40 over 72 simplifies to square root of 5 over 9. And we know that next we can split up the radical square root of 5 over square root of 9. Square root of 5 can't simplify. 5 we can't divide any numbers out, so we're just left with the square root of 5 on top, but the square root of 9 is 3.